Tristan Peters is now an all-star center fielder. Tristan Peters. Yeah, the guy who, if he came in your house a couple years ago, you showed him your broken toilet. Now you're showing him your sister.
And Brandon Combs. With all of the injuries, I don't know what Jed Hoyer is going to do. I know there's a ton of rumors out there, but there's always a ton of rumors at this time of year. And Jed Hoyer never pulls the trigger. You don't have prospects that are ready to come up and participate in Major League Baseball activities.
No.
And only one of those is a pitcher with elbow and back issues. It's Windy City Sports Talk with Combs and Fitz right now. And welcome to Combs and Fitz Windy City Sports Talk. It's your boy Brandon Combs, along with my guy Ryan. Got to take 2 weeks of vacation. Fitzgibbons, Fitzy. What is going on, brother?
Weeks. You're such an ass clown.
It feels like it was 2 weeks.
You had stuff to do too.
That's true. I did go on vacation as well. So
you're a liar.
Yeah,
So
pretty
start
much.
off the show with a lie.
Sometimes accurate, sometimes inaccurate. You know,
We are gonna talk about a few lies.
We are gonna
probably today. I mean, the trade deadline went past in MLB. A lot of lying there.
Yeah.
The Bears injury report. A lot of lying there.
we also had probably the best trade deadline in Jed Hoyer's tenure as a GM.
Is that saying a lot? Probably not, but yes, head and shoulders above.
Yeah. You know, you heard there in the intro me going off about Jed Hoyer, and he doesn't make moves at the deadline, and he doesn't do the things that you need him to do. And Jed Hoyer last Monday filled every hole that the Cubs had. Every hole. And you went out and you got two starters, and that's something that I had talked about prior to the deadline when everybody was talking about Skubal and
filling holes over there.
I was filling holes. I just said that, you know, if you're going to go get Skubal, he can't be the only piece, and I would rather have you go get two starters as opposed to one starter along with, you know, a valid bullpen arm. And that's exactly what Jed did. And he went out and got, you know, he goes out and gets Gossman. He goes out and gets Clay Holmes, who had a rough first outing off of the IL yesterday. But
I watched most of that game.
Yeah.
He's got good stuff. Like, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
But I mean, we'll talk a little bit about the Sox too, but he's got good stuff. I think that's a better trade than the Gossman trade, because Gossman's just older.
And I also think that people have to realize he's coming off of the IL. You know what I mean? Like it's his first stint off of the IL. Hadn't pitched since May, so it was one of those, you know, where it's okay. And it's a tough loss for the Cubs last night, right? Because Milwaukee wins, so you brought it back to 4.5. Now you're back to 5.5. So that is a tough loss for the Cubs, but I like what they did. Zephyrhan, I think people are going to love watching Zephyrhan in a Cubs uniform, because you look at this guy who, prior to coming to the Cubs, in his last 26 innings, had struck out 45 batters. That's pretty damn good. And that's just something that the Cubs bullpen didn't have.
No.
And now you bring in a guy who is a bona fide strikeout guy who can get anybody out, who can pitch 1 to 2 innings for you on any given night. I like what Jed Hoyer had to do, and I think that Jed Hoyer went out and did everything that we wanted him to do as Cubs fans, and I think that the teams responded this week. I mean, that loss last night to the Royals was the first loss since the deadline. So
the Royals have some good players. You're going to lose to a team like that every once in a while.
And it took a Jack Caglianone career night to beat.
Yeah. You're going to have a guy who has, and he's a good player. I mean, Bobby Witt, a couple of those plays by Bobby Witt.
Oh, just insane.
It's
insane.
And then he get a hit. The guy's outrageous.
Yes. He is so good. He's just on a Royals team that's just not and I don't think people have really talked about this, but the regression of the Kansas City Royals has been wild.
A surprise.
Yeah. I mean, 2 years ago, this was a team that won like 85, 86 games, and people were talking about this team being a great young core and being on their way. And they've just regret. I think they won 82 last year, and then this year they're not even going to touch 80.
And they can't pitch. I don't know what
Yeah.
happened to their pitching. Lugo looked
Yeah.
okay yesterday, but
Yeah.
he's a gut and guile type guy. He ain't gonna
Right.
he's not outrageous, but he's gonna have days like that too, where he didn't exactly stifle the Cubs offense, but he's able to get grit and guile and get up and down with it.
Paid a pretty penny for him, so you better hope he stays good. You're talking about Zephyr John. Look, I'm not a big believer in the fact that the Cubs paid a pretty penny for him. The Cubs paid a pretty penny for Clay Holmes.
Yeah, which anybody was going to.
Yeah, the Cubs paid a nice return for him. I was okay with giving up Ballesteros because Ballesteros to me was a 4A player. He's had his chances to come up to the major league level, and every time that he's come up, he hasn't been able to hit consistently. So I was okay with giving up Ballesteros. I didn't think that they paid too much for. I know his name's pronounced Zephyrhan, but look, this is Chicago. We're gonna call him Zephyr John. Zephyr John, all day long. Look, I like that trade.
John.
I like that trade all day long for the Cubs. And I like how this Cubs team has responded. And I said it when I did the deadline special that I did on Monday. I think that the Cubs are going to win this division.
Well, I had them winning the division in the beginning of the year. Yeah. I did not think they would have this kind of trade deadline, especially when we were getting that
best team in baseball again. Why?
Wait, what?
They have the best record in baseball again. The Brewers do.
I know. I mean, yeah, they beat the Twins, which I'm happy about last night, but not a huge fan of the Brewers. I think they're a good organization. They just keep playing well, but that guy Mizorowski, man, it's tough. The only thing the Cubs didn't do is match that, but I don't know what happened in the whole Tyreek Skubal trade or why the Dodgers prospects are weirdly overvalued. But
did you see the report that came out this morning?
I don't know what the Cubs prospects that the Cubs gave up for Clay Holmes and Kevin Gausman I feel like they were better. But I could be wrong.
The prospects that came out this morning that the Brewers offered were 3 top 100 prospects. And apparently, now look, I'm a big, I don't take a whole lot of stock in a lot of these reports when they come out, when you hear people talking about it, because I think some of it is like, why would the Tigers take lesser value from a Dodgers team? But and maybe there might be some truth to this. And with that report that came out today of them offering 3 top 100 prospects, if that's true, then I think that the rumors of the Tigers ownership really wanting a salary cap, yes, tinfoil hat here, of the Tigers ownership really wanting a salary cap and wanting to get people more up in arms and get other owners up in arms about what the Dodgers are doing, taking a lesser value trade for Tarik Skubal, it might have worked, but I still think it's otherworldly dumb if that's what they did.
Yeah, I mean,
knowingly took a worse deal for a guy who's won 2 Cy Youngs and is probably going to win more.
They're thinking about 2034.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're thinking about 2034.
Stop it. I just
Brewers
I don't
will do
know
what they.
Well, if you're thinking about 2034, don't you take the better prospects though?
Yeah, I mean, 1000%. I never try. Who knows what's going to happen in 5, 6, 7, 8 years? I hate it when GMs try to do that. If you could be good now, you be good now. If you can get good talent now, you get good talent now. Don't try to defer it. That's the only thing I didn't like with the White Sox trades. Which I think they did okay, but I think they could have done some other things. Jeremiah says they're going to kill it in the regular season and fade in the playoffs. I mean,
I think they hurt themselves at the deadline. Don't you?
The Brewers, I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, I mean, if they get Skubal and they got Skubal and Mizorowski, that I mean, maybe
Yeah.
that's
Well,
what
yeah.
they thought. Like, no
Well, put
way, we're
Skubal
putting a
aside
great.
though, because they tried to get Skubal apparently, right? Like
Yeah,
they put out a great offer for Skubal apparently.
maybe
But once you didn't get
that's
Skubal, why weren't you all in on Clay Holmes? Why weren't you all in on Kevin Gossman? Why weren't you all in to go get another top pitcher? And I know, look, I commend everybody who stayed away from Hunter Green, because now Hunter Green is going in for elbow
yes.
surgery. He's going to miss the rest of the year. So
He's probably gonna miss next year too.
smart move. I I just don't understand why you weren't all in for some more pitching, and instead you went after Dustin May and JoJo Romero.
Yeah, I don't know if they hurt themselves, but they didn't make themselves much better. Which this is what Milwaukee does.
Yeah.
And then they'll trade some players, and you'll be like, okay, are they just going to be bad this year? Like, are they just taking the team apart? Like, is that
No, they're
it?
gonna
Or
win
do they think it's
93.
over? And then they win 100 games, and it's like, what the hell? It's like they're the Tampa Bay Rays, and the Tampa Bay Rays are the Tampa Bay Rays. Tampa Bay Rays just won their 70th game. They lost a series to the Sox, and then they win 5 games. And everybody thinks, oh well, Tampa Bay, here we go. No, Tampa Bay won 5 games in a row, and now they're at 70 wins, the first team to 70 in a bad American League. I mean,
Yeah.
you can't say they're not. But they're in the best division by far. I mean, somehow the AL West is worse than the AL Central. I don't
Same
know
amount of
how
wins
that's
as the
possible.
Dodgers.
What's that?
Same amount of wins as the Dodgers.
Yeah, same amount of wins as I don't think the Dodgers care how much they win in the regular season. They didn't last year, and look what
Yeah.
happened. I mean,
That's a point that I listened to this week, and this is the point that I made about the Dodgers. I know how good Tarek Skubal is, and this isn't taking anything away from Tarek Skubal. I just don't know that Tarek Skubal makes that much of a difference for the Dodgers, who already had 5 number 1 starters in their rotation anyway. And oh, by the way, if Shohei Ohtani is able to pitch again, they have Shohei Ohtani.
yeah.
I just like, it's a great piece. Don't get
Jeremiah
me
is
wrong.
saying
Tarek
Skubal
Skubal
wanted to
being
go
your
to the
number 1 is a
Dodgers.
great piece, and now you can go Skubal, Yamamoto, and then plug in your number 3, whether it's Shohei Ohtani,
If,
whether it's Tyler Glasnow, whether it's any other pitcher that they have on their
if
roster.
this is verifiable, I don't know if I want Skubal if he just wants to go to the Dodgers.
This is
I don't
also a
know.
guy
I
who
don't know
good
if
on his country, by the way. Good about that. Just saying.
you'd be lit up. There'd be a rocket up your ass right now if the Cubs got Skubal.
If they got Skubal and Gossman or Holmes, yes. But if it was just Skubal, I wouldn't be that excited. I actually would not have been happy about that.
Watch an MLB series. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do with you sometimes. Watch the MLB, rewatch the MLB playoffs last year, because he almost got Detroit through the playoffs by himself. They never finished the job.
Once every
And this
4 days.
This is a good point by Jeremiah. Is the only one commenting that these teams never win at all. And I think this is the difference between big market, big money teams and teams that do not spend enough. Is that especially in this baseball where it's pitching dominant, and I know I'm going to repeat myself again here, in a pitching dominant league, the teams that spend the most money are probably going to win the World Series. Yes, you're going to have your Diamondbacks teams. Ooh, look at them go. Yes, you're going to have, pick your team, Tampa Bay. Yes, you're going to have sometimes Milwaukee, although I think Milwaukee might have the best pitcher in the league. So, I mean, but they don't have the 3, the 4, and 5 pitchers that the Dodgers had and Toronto had last year. I mean, you could have flipped a coin. Either one of those teams could have won that World Series. I mean, the Toronto almost won. You can argue Toronto was maybe the better team in that series, just playing in that series, in the microcosm of that series, that Toronto played a better series. That's where we are in baseball, and those are the teams that usually win it all. I know it's a crapshoot. I know it's a round ball, cylindrical bat, and a lot of different things can happen. But the team that has deeper pitching almost all the time wins. at least 7 or 8 out of 10 times.
Yeah, but look, I think that the Dodgers are gettable, and the reason why is because their bullpen isn't very good. Their bullpen isn't very good, but here's the difference: is that in the playoffs, the bullpen changes dramatically, right?
Yeah.
Because now instead of coming in with whoever, you've got Tyler Glass now coming in the 8th inning. You've got Roki Sasaki coming in the 8th inning. Though that's the difference in the playoffs is now all of a sudden you got starting pitchers who are number ones in just about every rotation in the league coming in relief. And I understand all of that, but I think that the Blue Jays proved it last year that the Dodgers can be had. You've just got to be able to match with them. I think that the Phillies did a fantastic job. I mean, the pickup of Luis Arraez to compete with the Dodgers was really good. I think that the Cubs can compete with the Dodgers, especially in a short series.
Yeah, I think that's true. I think what the scariest team I'd want to face right now, and both the Cubs and the Sox didn't do great against them. I guess did okay. Who's the handsome guy without? Thank you, John. Johnny Torres checking in.
You
the
son
man
of a
with a name that's a bad
you
guy in a
son of
Western.
bitch.
Johnny Torres. He's got that name that sounds like he's the bad guy in a Western, old Western movie. Anyway, is the Yankees. The Yankees are the best pitching team in the league right now. And I just from the actual looking at it, it's not
I forgot
very
they have Blake Snell.
They're pretty good. It's Blake Snell.
They have Blake Snell. I forgot. Oh my God. Like seriously, what did Terry Skubal do for
Blake
this?
Snell was instrumental in the playoffs last year too. I mean, the Dodgers had like 4 or 5 pitchers that were better than a lot of teams, like entire staffs, like any pitcher on the team. It's gonna be tough, and especially in a playoff series, this happens sometimes where you run out of pitching. Oh, you can just throw another starter in there. Oh yeah, Blake Snell's gonna close the game for you, or Mark Burley, like the Sox had when they had to win one World Series game. Mark Burley had a few beers in him at the time. It was good to see the old team yesterday. Ozzie Guillen got his number retired, which I think, guy played 12, 13 seasons with the Sox and won a World Series. Yeah, it was great.
Look, I look at what the Cubs did. I look at what the Sox did. And we could talk about the Cubs and the Sox and compare, and I still like the Sox in this division. I really do. I just think that they are scrappy enough to win this division. I really do. I think that the Cubs have put themselves in a position to come back, especially 7 games against the Brewers at the beginning of September is huge. In I think it's in the first 10 days, if I'm not mistaken, of September, the Cubs have the Brewers. I'll be at Wrigley on September 1st for that game against the Brewers. And I think that if the Cubs come out and win 6 of those 7 games, the Cubs are going to walk away with this division down the stretch. I truly believe that. And I mean, look, there's a possibility they lose 6 of those 7 games, or lose 5 of the 7, or 4 of the 7, or whatever the case is. And then it's Milwaukee's division to be had, and the Cubs are talking about the wild card and who they're facing out of the wild card. I still like the Cubs to win this division, and regardless of Holmes last night and him getting touched up a little bit by Jack Caglianone. Like that's just, it's one of those games where I didn't watch last night's game. How did Holmes do? Yeah, well, there you go. He got touched up with just a little bit. Caglianone had a career night last night. He was 4 for 4 with 2 home runs and 2 doubles. He was just ridiculous, and that's what it took for the Royals to beat the Cubs 6-3. And you're going to get past all of that. And this lineup is starting to hit. And PCA, man, dude, you talked about PCA at the beginning of the season. We talked about him when he was getting his extension, about how if you get 15 to 20 home runs from this guy, that contract's a win. He's underpaid.
Oh yeah, officially.
The Cubs got to steal for PCA.
Officially PCA. Well, as many things have on this show, has proved me wrong. Megan TV checks in just as long as LA or Tampa don't win. I don't know why you don't like Tampa, but Tampa's kind of a scummy town, but definitely LA. They'd be the first team to three-peat since in 26 years or something like that. But anyway, PCA totally proved me wrong. I mean, there was no real reason to think he would have the power he had for only half a season. He didn't have it in the minors. I don't know exactly what his college numbers were. He was never a power guy, but this happens to players sometimes. I mean, we even talk about this in football with defensive and offensive linemen where they're not as good until they're like 23, 24, 25, where they get that extra strength because men aren't fully developed until we reach that age. I mean, I can't say that the guy's on anything. He doesn't even look like he's gotten any bigger. I mean, maybe he's put on some muscle, but he gets his bat to ball skills is much better than I thought it was, especially being able to barrel up balls, and his eye at the plate has gotten way better. They had the stats up in last night's 10%. Game. It's been up like ridiculously. Is it going to be as good as that at the end of the year? I don't know, but this might be the guy. And if he's this or 80% of this, Jesus, if he's 60% of this, we've talked about this. If he hits 15 home runs and has 65 RBIs a year and bats 250, he's overplaying his contract. I mean, people don't understand. That's a 4 or 5 WAR player with the way he plays center. He's overplaying his contract. I mean, a 4 or 5 win player, each win above replacement is like millions of dollars to a player. I mean, to the cost that the team is getting back for the player. Clubs are at plus 330 to win the division.
Yeah, and look,
those are pretty good odds.
In June, I bet PCA to win the MVP at 30-1. And the reason why I took the stab at that was because I knew how good PCA was starting to play. And I was like, all you need is a Shohei Ohtani injury. And now you look at the betting odds, and PCA is minus 125, and Shohei Ohtani is plus 105. Like, it's been a huge shift in the odds for MVP. Like, he is making a run, and I'm hearing people talk about, we're gonna, until PCA steps on a mound, we're gonna vote for Shohei Ohtani. And I've heard voters talk about this, and I'm like, that makes no sense to me. Because sure, Shohei does something that PCA can't do, which is pitch. PCA does something that Shohei can't do, which is play Gold Glove elite level center field. Like, how many defensive runs night in and night out is PCA saving that Shohei Ohtani doesn't do on a night in and night out basis? Just the way that he beat the Blue Jays the other day, stealing third, causing the overthrow, and taking home, because speed changes things. Shohei Ohtani's never going to win the Dodgers a game like that. So there are things that PCA can do that Shohei absolutely can't do. So I think that's when you start looking at the value of the player. And if you take PCA out of the Cubs lineup, this Cubs team is probably, I don't know, 10, 11, 12 games out of this division. And if you take Shohei Ohtani out of the Dodgers lineup, they're still your favorite to win the National League. And people are like, oh, no, Shohei Ohtani doesn't make that big of or Shohei Ohtani makes a bigger difference than what you're saying for the Dodgers. They've played 174 games without him since they've signed him because of injuries and other things. They're 108-66 in those games. That's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Without Shohei Ohtani.
There's just so many players on that team.
Yes, and the pitching staff without Shohei Ohtani in it is still one of the best pitching staffs in all Major League Baseball. What are we talking? Yeah,
you lose left-handed power. What about Freddie Freeman? Like, I mean, he's a good pitcher too. I see it. I just think what's gonna win it for PCA, and he still has 6-7 weeks to go. Lots of things can happen. Carlos Quentin was going to win the MVP in 2008, and he broke his hand punching a bat when he
Yes.
struck out. And he was going to win. Like, he could have had a bad September and he still would have won it. He ended up losing the MVP. So a lot of things can happen, but for me, it's just PCA's a newer player. I mean, they didn't give Trout could have won 8 in a row. I mean, there was no one better than Trout for like 7 or 8 years. And he didn't, because other guys, they give other guys chances. And I think that's going to also win it for PCA too.
Yeah. And you talk about Shohei Ohtani and
Why
his
are we
pitching
saying
and his
fuck
value.
Freddie Freeman? What does Freddie Freeman do?
That's I mean, Freddie Freeman is one of the nicest dudes in all Major League Baseball.
I know. Come on.
Freddie Freeman.
A funny guy too. Like, what the?
But I look at when you talk about Shohei Ohtani, and that's the other thing that drives me nuts. You always value in his pitching. Well, great. That's why you created the Cy Young Award. Like that, you want to give him an award, give him that, but he doesn't even qualify for the Cy Young Award.
Doesn't have enough.
Yeah, so we're gonna give. We're talking about his pitching, putting him, and I understand the value in his pitching. I understand how good he is on both sides of the ball. I get that, but PCA is really good at both sides of the ball too, and to diminish one just because he doesn't step on the mound is insanity to me. Insanity to me. So I don't, for me, PCA is the MVP. Johnny Torres says after PCA's SMFDB, which we all know what that means, incident, PCA has been better in my opinion. Here's the question around that, and I asked this the other day. Do you think she did? I mean, he got really good after that. Do you think she took him up on the offer?
Not in the 4 or 5 games after that. He wasn't that good. He had a couple of errors and was really bad at the plate. Yeah, he took off after that. Maybe he needed some of that. Maybe he did need some of them, not getting blown, but maybe he did. Maybe he did need some of that. I mean, I just think I guess I do get shocked by players quite a bit, especially in baseball. Just the trajectory of a player's career is insane in baseball.
Yeah,
it's almost impossible to predict. But this one is one of the most surprising.
And this is another point by Jeremiah. PCA is an instrumental, just as instrumental, except he does it every day, not every 5th day. I love it.
Yeah, well, Ohtani's in the lineup every day, isn't he?
Wow, he went from calling you handsome to...
He is the bad guy in a Western. Johnny Torres.
Just changing.
Meet me at noon
on right now.
Meet me at noon on the thoroughfare.
All right, so
we draw pistols, sir.
Yeah, PCA for MVP. What about the White Sox? Look, you go and get Luis Castillo. You go and make some decent moves. Like I like the addition of Luis Castillo. I like the addition in center field. I'm gonna forget the guy's name now that they went out and got. Yeah, I like those moves. I still think that this team is good enough to win this division. I still think that this team is scrappy enough to hang on. As a matter of fact, with the state of the American League, and I know how good the Yankees can be if they're fully healthy. I know how good the Rays are. I still think this is a team that could find a way to win the American League.
I will say the same thing I said to you over text message. $20 is $20. That's true. Benton Doyle, is it?
Yes. Doyle from the Rockies.
Benton, yeah. Good center fielder. I mean, definitely a right-handed bat, for Tristan Peters, who's been scuffling, although he did have a couple of doubles last night. Anyway, yeah, okay. Here we I don't bring up his Greg Maddux is pitching today. Kyle Teal figured out he's been tipping his pitches apparently for some time. Yeah, it's not Greg Maddux. I didn't say that, but Davis Martin just hasn't been striking guys out. I mean, that's a problem. Two things. The one thing I texted you, you're just saying that the Sox are going to be good so you can watch my heart be broke. Because you want to see me. You want to see me broken and lost.
That's not
and
it.
Dying. Yes, you do. Because you like it. It's delicious to you. You feed off of this. And 2, the White Sox have the worst pitching out of any division leader at this point in the year that I think I've ever seen. I'll say it again. The White Sox have the worst pitching out of any baseball team I've seen that's leading in a division at this point in the year I think I've ever seen. And I'm not just talking about numbers. I'm talking about look at the actual pitching,
Yeah.
especially the starting pitching. There's almost no talent there. I mean, Anthony K, pretty good stuff. Sean Burke's got pretty good stuff. There's a lot of guys on a lot of teams that got better stuff than that. I mean, and there's nobody else with any talent on the in the Sox starting rotation. Now maybe that changes. I know Tanner McDougal and Higgins Smith. I don't know if they're gonna double team Johnny Torres or double team, and one's gonna start, one's gonna come in, and kind of both start games. I don't know how that's gonna work. That's definitely an upgrade, I think, because Higgins Smith's got some nasty stuff, and so does Tanner McDougal. Tanner McDougal does throw some strikes as well. Also, I'd like to see Drew Thorpe come back. He had Tommy John surgery a year and a half ago, and then had an appendectomy after that. I don't think that's going to be enough. And I'm going to say what I said a month and a half ago or a month ago now during my Fitz gibberish. I don't think this team has enough pitching to win this division. I think you're seeing what I was talking about then, a tired pitching staff. Definitely a tired bullpen that has taken on more innings than any other team in the league. A starting rotation, like I said, that has covered less innings than any team in the league. That's a problem. Now, Luis Castillo is going to help you. I thought he had some pretty good stuff the other night. Kind of had a Clay Holmes game where I thought he had good stuff, but he got hit around by a team that's just in Boston Red Sox are just out of their minds. It's just,
well, here's the thing too, but they've also got you added Brazaban to shore up that bullpen. He didn't look so great the other night, but you also have reinforcements coming up from the minor leagues too.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you got Higgins Smith, you got Tanner McDougal. I think Drew Thorpe is going to start a game soon here. He's been pitching very well. He pitched 70 pitches recently. Drew Thorpe was the key in the Dylan Cease trade, for those who forgot, when Dylan Cease was traded to the San Diego Padres. And then, like a lot of White Sox pitchers, he promptly had to have Tommy John surgery. Plesac, well, yeah, I think we were both taking that up. Plesac pointed it out on the broadcast. He misses his spots consistently. His breaking balls aren't moving. No, his breaking ball. I've been saying this for a month. Where have you been, damn Plesac? His breaking stuff was unbelievable. Is the reason why I said he's got a little bit of that Greg Maddux in him. I did not say he was Greg Maddux, but it seemed like some of his breaking stuff, he was using it in similar ways. Davis Martin was. He's just not doing that anymore. And which says to me is he's having elbow problems. Doesn't mean he needs surgery in his elbow. Every baseball pitcher, as you know, is hurt in some way. Feel like Davis Martin is hurt in some way. Why is he not getting the spin on his ball? Why is he not doing the Sox? If they're good at anything, they're good at diagnosing pitchers, seeing pitchers, scouting pitchers. I don't know what's going on with him. But he's not throwing the breaking stuff. He's not getting the strikeouts.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that they're tired.
He's tipping his pitches. I didn't see this tipping his pitches thing.
I haven't seen that either. But it wouldn't surprise me, right? With everything that's going on, and the way that he's been pitching. Now, look, if they found something and they're able to correct it and he's able to start dealing again, great. Because I think that you get Higgins Smith coming up. At some point, you're about to get Drew Thorpe back too. I think this pitching staff is going to be better, and not only that, but with these arms coming back, with Drew Thorpe coming back, his arm's going to be rested too. You know what I mean? Like, it's not going to be as used as a lot of these other arms have been. I think that I think that the White Sox are a team that's going to hang in a really bad division. They're going to be able to hang in there. I think they're going to win this division. And I think that they are that good. I really do. I think this offense can hit with anybody in the league. And I think that they're ready to go. Now, I see Fitz freezing up on me. Is that just me, or are you frozen? Or am I frozen?
I guess I'm frozen.
It just looks like
can you still hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you just fine. Oh,
Okay, I'm back.
now you're dancing and freezing. But still, it's sometimes look when you're doing stuff like this that's remote. Sometimes it freezes and you're like, oh crap, is that him or is it me? So sometimes I need people in the chat to be like, no, that's Fitz, or no, that's you, Combs, just so that I know, so I can start trying to troubleshoot. But and of course, Fitz sells internet equipment for a living, so it's little, I mean, come on. I don't know. I don't get it. But anyway.
Fuck you, Combs.
I just think the Sox team is primed for a run in this division. We finally, I was waiting for somebody to figure it out. And somebody finally figured it out. Wait a minute. The studio is not under construction anymore. No. He had some vacation time. Ryan Fitz had some vacation time. And within that week, 2 weeks that we've been off for a show, I was in Vermont for a week, and then Fitz was on vacation in California for a week. He found the time to hang up 4 pictures. He found the time to hang up 4 pictures and was able to, and I've lost him completely now. Like, he is completely gone now. I don't even see him in the background. So, the pictures are way too far apart. Considering his last setup, I would completely agree. But I don't know what you guys think. Like, I think that the White Sox are a team that's going to compete in this division for the long haul. I don't think that they're going away. I don't know that Minnesota, the team that actually kind of worries me, which is funny to say, but they've been playing really well since the trade deadline, and that's the Detroit Tigers. They're not losing very much since trading Tarek Skubal. They're not losing very much since trading Casey Mize. And this team is finding a way to crawl back into this division. So that would be the team that worries me a little bit. I don't think Minnesota's good enough to come back and win this division. Cleveland always kind of scares you just because their pitching is good enough. Parker Messick is a true number one. Parker Messick is a true ace. And the way that they added at the deadline as well, I love the addition of Joe Adell to that outfield. I think that the Cleveland Guardians are a team that will contend as well. But I think the team that scares me the most in this division, the sleeper, is just, Detroit. So, just the Combs show now. When I look at Major League Baseball as a whole right now, I look at the playoffs coming up. I look at what's going on in Major League Baseball. You take a look at the standings, and it's just like, it's crazy to me how the Milwaukee Brewers are still the best team in baseball. You got the Tampa Bay Rays are 4.5 games ahead of the New York Yankees. The Red Sox have crawled back into that division since June 11th. They are something like 39 and 12. 39 and 12 since June 11th. The Cubs in that span, I believe, are 34 and 16. But the Brewers in that span are 33 and 17. So the Cubs have gained a game in that span, but they've been really good. And you look at the divisions, you look at Tampa Bay leading the Yankees, you look at the White Sox, 3 games up on Minnesota and on Cleveland, 3.5 up on Detroit. You look at Houston is a half game up on Texas, 4 games up on Seattle. The Braves running away with the National League East. The Brewers 5.5 games up on the Cubs, 15 up on the Cardinals, who are in 3rd place. And the Dodgers are 8.5 up on the Diamondbacks, 9.5 up on the Padres. No surprise there. And then the wild card in each league is just so jumbled. So jumbled. You got the Yankees and Red Sox at the top of the American League wild card standings. The Red Sox have a 5.5 game lead on the second wild card spot. The Yankees have a 7-game lead on the top wild card spot. Boston's only a 1.5 games behind them. The Twins, Guardians, Tigers, all 1.5 to 2 games out. The Orioles, 3 games out. The Mariners and Blue Jays, The Blue Jays, who are 56
Guardians
and 62,
are 3 games out.
3.5 games out of the wild card. Oh, hey, welcome back.
I'm back.
Welcome back. But no, the wild card in both
I had
leagues.
to take a nap. Go ahead.
Please, nobody call Fitz landline. He will disconnect from the internet.
Don't answer the landline.
But I think that the wild card in the American League, I mean, is just sickening when you look at it. I mean, the Blue Jays and Mariners, 56 and 62, are 3.5 games out. The Orioles, who are 56 and 61, are 3 games out. They're 3 games out of the final wild card spot, but they are 14.5 out of their division. Like, it's crazy to look at the wild card standings in both leagues. You even go over to the National League, and the National League wild card is just as crazy, where you've got the Padres, the Marlins, the Cardinals, the Pirates, the Washington Nationals, and the Reds are all within 5 games. And none of those teams are over 500. I mean, baseball is just wild.
Yeah, it's in this weird section where there's like this middle section of teams that are 5 games under 500 or 5 games over, and there's like a bunch of teams in that middle. So the Sox are going to get the must-win AB, and Drew Romo is going to be up to bat. He might be one of the worst hitters I've ever seen. If it wasn't for the 5 home runs he hit in the beginning of the season, he might be the worst at bats I've ever seen a player have. That catching position, that's another reason why they might not win it. Kyle Teal being hurt really hurts them. I thought he'd be the best player on the team this year. And he's been, that catching position has cost them 5 games. That's tough to take. Maybe you could say it's only cost them 3 games. That's still tough to take. That means you're 6 games in front. I mean, it's been bad. I mean, I can look at singular games where the catching position has lost them games. That's going to be a problem for the Sox. I mean, Kyle Teal's going to come back in September and he's going to be better. I don't know. By October, I don't know.
So while you were gone, we were talking about Junior had brought up, and finally somebody had seen it. The studio is no longer under construction. Jeremiah chimed in and said those pictures are way too far apart, considering your last.
You can't help yourself.
Debacle.
You have to bring these comments
up. No, I had your back. I said, look, we had 2 weeks off of the show. I was in Vermont for a week. You were in California for a week, but you did find time to hang 4 pictures, so that way your studio's no longer under construction.
See the way you said it.
What?
The way
I had your back.
The way, this is not having your back. That's a backhanded comment.
What do you mean? I said you it's no longer under construction. You hung the pictures.
It's like me saying, like, yeah, you know, he works a lot. He's a hard worker. Combs is a super hard worker. You can't blame him for gaining so much weight since his Marine picture. I wish I had the Marine picture right now.
I wish I was wearing my shirt that says "not as lean, not as mean, but still a Marine." Problem is, it doesn't fit anymore.
Yes, anyway. I put up some pictures. I need to get a light or something.
No, I mean,
partner. I wish I had a podcast, my real podcast partner.
Yeah, I mean, if only you knew somebody who, is sitting here in his studio with a light shining down.
2005 was 21 years ago. Okay, well, 1985 was 41 years ago. What do you want me to say? Here, Johnny.
2016 was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
If you boys talk any WNBA in this episode, I have some thoughts.
He's got a bloody Tony Soprano.
I mean, do you want to touch on the stuff with Sophie Cunningham? I mean, there's a couple of different ways to take it, right? Like
if this is our transition down to football, okay. You got a minute and a half.
I mean, Sophie Cunningham gets her head taken off last night in the game.
Mm-hmm.
It's a flagrant foul. They eject Dejanay, whatever the hell her name is, from the sky. And she gets ejected. And then she goes to social media and calls it white privilege. That's everything that's wrong with the WNBA. And it's kind of everything that's wrong with this country right now, but it's everything that's wrong with the WNBA.
Unbelievable.
I mean, it's just you took her damn head off. You clotheslined her. And this nonsense that you were going for the ball, come on. Stop it. It's just it's insane. And the Enes Kanter stuff, talking about the Sophie Cunningham stuff, where she said trans athletes don't belong in the WNBA or in women's sports, period, which I completely agree with. Then Enes Kanter comes out and says, "All right, well then I'm going to join the WNBA." Now, if you don't remember Enes Kanter, he used to play in the NBA, and he's basically telling you that if you agree with athletes that identify as female being, in the WNBA, then he'll join the WNBA too. And I look, I'm not bad. Look, LGBTQ, all of that stuff, I'm okay with. I support it. I understand. I get it. But trans athletes don't belong in women's sports. They just don't. Men should not be competing in women's sports.
No.
So there's nothing wrong with what Sophie Cunningham said. And for some of these the fouls to be happening and the things that's happening with Sophie Cunningham, it's just insane to me. Yes. That is now the photo of white privilege.
Yeah, anybody who's saying white privilege, and we can cut this up and clip it up and send it out there because I'm going to say it. I'm sorry, it's going to be true. That's racism. I'm sorry. Whether you like it or not, that's racism against white people. I hate to point it out, but if I said that, I'd be racist against black people. You clotheslined another human being, and then you blame them because you got kicked out of the game. That's racism. Yeah. I don't know what else it is. That is racism. That is I don't want to globalize this, but
Rowdy
that is like abusing your kids and blaming your kids for it.
Yes.
Like, yeah, they were yelling and screaming. Yeah. You knocked them out. Like, what? You can't do that.
Yes. And it's just it's everything that's wrong with the WNBA. And look, the WNBA has been this for a long time where you just have athletes that are just, I mean, they like to hit people and they like to bully people, and it's like they're playing basketball with roller derby rules.
Yeah.
Like it's like a roller derby. It's been insane. And I just look at, a lot of this stuff that's happened with Sophie Cunningham and with Caitlin Clark, and you have to wonder if two of the best white female athletes on the court are getting bullied and nothing's being done about it. Maybe there's a problem there.
God forbid we make it a problem. And I always try to look at what people are doing, not what they're saying. Yeah. And look what's happening. I don't get it. I don't get how the WNBA is this poorly managed. Can there be an organization that's more that's worse at managing players than baseball? I mean, can there be? I don't know. Ask Ryan Clark.
And that's the thing. Look, I always take every stance. Like my political views are right down the middle. I think both sides suck. My views on a lot of these things are I listen to both sides of it. And I watch it from a lens where I look at things down the middle. I don't take one side, I don't take the other side, I look at them down the middle. Down the middle, what the WNBA has done to Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham is atrocious.
Yeah.
Caitlin Clark has been basically banned from like all WNBA social media and
I know.
in like advertisements. She's your
She's
best
having
player.
her
She's the
best
only one
year.
anybody wants to go see. The Indiana Fever are the only team people want to go see because they have Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham. They're the only team worth watching.
You can always reverse roles, and certain people say that this is wrong, but I'm sorry. You can always reverse roles and say, like, this was happening to black players like 50 or 60, 70 years ago now, whatever it is, in basketball. It was happening to black players in basketball. They were being treated like that because they were playing basketball. Like it's pretty crazy how it's shifted this fast. And how it can shift when you do give privilege to one race over another. And I'm not going to say I'm sorry, that's not white people who are a collection of many races, which I always thought was kind of weird to begin with. I just don't know. I'm sorry. If I have to be the one to say this, the white people or European born people, whatever we want to call it, do not have all the money. I'm sorry. They are not the race in this country. That's the number one race. That's the biggest earners in this country. It's not. It's Indian, actually. And then after that, I think somewhere in there is South African. I think there's even
the amount of money in Saudi.
Yeah, I mean, it's just no longer. It's no longer. The top earners in the country are no longer white. And it hasn't been that way for a long time. So I don't know where this white privilege thing is coming from. I really don't. I really don't. It's actually perception and marketing. I get that, but
well, and that's the thing. I mean, that's the media drives a lot of stuff to try to, and I don't want to get into the politics of everything and all of that. I mean, but that's what this topic brings about.
In case you were wondering, I'm not white, Fitz. That's why we're mortal enemies, Johnny Torres. You're a great guy, though, Johnny Torres.
I just look at what's going on in the WNBA, and I look at the way that a lot of these athletes are looked at. Right? You look at the WNBA, and you look at I mean, hell, Brittany Griner is probably the best example. Brittany Griner gets saved from a Russian prison, which, by the way, she did something illegal to go there. Gets saved from a Russian prison, and then comes back and talks about how much she hates the United States of America. And hates the same president that set her free.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, it drives me nuts. And then when you watch the WNBA and you watch all of these fouls and you watch, I mean, the officiating in the WNBA is atrocious anyway. But you watch some of these things that go on and they let go on. The fact that there was an ejection yesterday was probably the first time that they've done something right in a long time. And I'm not saying, look, Sophie Cunningham and even, I mean, hell, even Caitlin Clark is not the best player in the WNBA. Asia Wilson is probably the best player in the WNBA. Asia Wilson.
Why do I know this? Why do I know this?
What?
Why do I have to know who the best player in the WNBA is?
Because you talk.
I agree. This is an issue we probably should be talking about, and I certainly have no problem talking about it. But
why do I know names of players in the WNBA?
Me, if women aren't going to watch it, I don't have to watch it. I mean, if women were really aggressively watching the WNBA, I think I'd probably watch more. I'd be like, what are they looking at? Oh, yeah. But they're just not watching it. So I don't know what to tell you. Not that I follow. I guess I do sometimes follow what's popular, but everybody does it.
I mean,
it's total racism.
They're averaging close to 1 million viewers per game, just so you know. The WNBA is.
Oh, it's not bad.
It's grown exponentially since 2024. I don't know if you know this or anything, but do you know who got drafted in 2024?
Brittany Griner.
Caitlin Clark.
I know. Caitlin Clark. It's total racism, and again, black lesbians don't like white women.
That too. I would destroy Clark in the bags game, hands down.
I don't think so. I don't know, Johnny.
mean, she's got some. She might be able to toss. You never know. She might be able to toss. But look, I just don't. I look at that and I look at the way that it's portrayed. And I listen to guys. I mean, Ryan Clark's a clown. You look at Acho is a clown. All of these people that are out there. You know who else is going to take extreme? I can't wait to hear on my. Well, I can wait. I'm joking. But Jamel Hill is going to take this to the next level. Jamel Hill is going to take. We're going to see 5 or 6. We're going to see 5 or 6 plays of hard plays of Caitlin Clark or somebody else hitting another player. And we're going to be talking about how it's true that it's white privilege and blah, 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 blah. But that's the problem with those platforms is that they're looking for a reason. And that's what still sells. Racism sells. And that's why we continue to hear about it. That's why it's still a thing. Anyway.
It sells on the internet too. Yeah. That's why people, that's why the Black Lives Matter, the people who started Black Lives Matter bought a mansion in a white neighborhood.
Yeah. The group as opposed to the movement.
LGBTQ Fitz community.
Yeah. We love the LGBTQ Fitz community. We just dislike the WNBA. I actually like the WNBA. I actually watched the WNBA.
We all know this.
So
I said a minute and a half. You took 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's fine. You ready to get into some football? Because, I mean, preseason is we've got a game on Saturday for the Chicago Bears. I don't know who's going to play in it because everybody's hurt. So it's starting to become a problem at Bears camp right now is the injuries. You look at, they've already lost Kobe Bryant for, I guess, the first 8 to 10, or not the first 8, but the first 4 to 6 weeks. But nothing's been confirmed yet. As we heard from Ben Johnson yesterday. And yesterday, Luther Burden goes down in practice. It looked pretty bad. And there's been no update, so that makes me believe that maybe it's worse. You don't think that it's a big deal, or as big of a deal, if the Bears lose a wide receiver?
It depends how long he's out for. If he's out for the season, okay, I get it. I just think right now, if Ja'Day Walker is playing, let's just say take Ja'Day Walker. He's the one that had the touchdown in the back end of the end zone in the Packers game. The second Packers game, not the third. I think he had a catch in the third Packers game too. If he's playing for Luther Burden or the guy he drafted, who I still don't know his name yet, because I didn't want him to draft a wide receiver there, is in for him. I mean, this is going to be a tight end based offense, isn't it? 2-3 tight end sets.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how much worried I am if he misses 4 or 5 or 6 games. I don't know how worried I am. If he misses the whole season, okay, that's a problem. But I don't think this offense is going to have a problem if he's out for that. If there's a guy who's 70, 80% Luther Burden is in there for 5 or 6 games. If the offense does have a problem with that, well, then I have a problem with us drafting total offense for the past 3 years and absolutely nothing on defense, even though I'm the guy that's been yelling at them to pay for and draft more offense at the same time. I think that they can weather this on the offensive side. The Kobe Bryant getting hurt is a problem for a defense that I don't see how this defense is good. I do not see how this defense is good, and I think it's going to be a problem this year. You can't have the 30th ranked defense, especially on the defensive line.
Yeah, I look at the Bears, and look, I think that they got faster in the secondary. We talked about this yesterday over the phone. I love the addition of Devin Bush. I think you got faster at linebacker there. I know you give up Tremaine Edmonds, and you're replacing Tremaine Edmonds with Devin Bush, but I think Devin Bush is a faster version of Tremaine Edmonds. I do believe in Dennis Allen and being able to get the best out of these guys. Now, that being said, you need Dio Odangbo. And I know that hashtag motivated Dio is trending everywhere. But I think that you need Dio Dangbo to be the guy that you signed. I think that you need Montez Sweat to be the destroyer that you went out and traded for. And if you can somehow find a way to get to the quarterback, that would be great, because in this league, you have to be able to attack the quarterback. You just have to. You have to make the quarterback feel uncomfortable. I don't know that the Kobe Bryant trade injury is as big as it would have been had they not drafted Dylan Thieneman and had they not brought in Cam Lewis. I think they're going to be just fine in the secondary. I like Tyreek Stevenson. I know Kyler Gordon being out is going to be a big problem too, but I don't know that you were necessarily banking on Kyler Gordon to be on the field, even though the numbers show that with Kyler Gordon on the field,
Bring
is
up
a
the
vastly
numbers
better
again
defense.
on Kyler Gordon, the guy who's been partying at clubs all over
I
Chicago.
know. I know. Trust me, I get it, and I'm okay if they decide to
Why
move
have
on.
you been at these? Have you been in these clubs with him?
I try to be, but I usually don't get access. I
mean, is
well,
this why
Luther
Ben
Burden-
Johnson doesn't like him?
Yeah, I mean, how could you like a guy who can't stay on the field if you're a ball coach?
Well,
mean-
and you tie that to his partying, which
Yeah.
I mean, it's all over Twitter that people see
Yep.
the club all the time till 3 a.m, and he might have a. And this is Ben Johnson. I think this is the clip of him talking when he asked about Kobe Bryant.
Coach, you said that you're still in the information gathering phase with Kobe and his injury. Does that mean that the reported 8 to 10 week timeline is not confirmed yet?
I don't know where you guys got that.
Gotcha.
Yeah, hasn't been said here. So I'll let you guys know whenever we know for sure what it looks like for him.
I just think he's
Did you
always, like,
catch that?
passive, he's always passively aggressively pissed.
Did you catch that though? Play it again and listen. Hold on. Listen to right after he says, "I don't know where you guys got that." I think I hear a reporter say Adam Schefter.
Coach, you said that you're still in the information gathering phase with Kobe and his injury. Does that mean that the reported 8 to 10 week timeline is not confirmed yet?
I don't know where you guys got that.
Gotcha.
Yeah, hasn't been said here.
See, Adam Schefter. Like I don't know what the timeline is, and I, hopefully it's sooner rather than later. Still in the evaluation period. I get all that. Sometimes swelling and all this other stuff. You have to figure everything out. I get all that. I am worried about the pass rush. I am not worried about the offense. Luther Burden and Khalif Raymond have been Caleb's favorite targets in training camp, from what I'm hearing. But I'm also hearing that Caleb Williams looks a lot better than what he did commanding the offense and leading the offense and comfortable with the offense at this point in training camp than he was last year, which you would hope so. I also hear that the inconsistency on the easy routes is still kind of there.
Which is a big problem. It's been a problem for him.
But you expect that to get better,
I,
right?
I just think you have a coach there, and why I have that had that video up is you have a coach there that knows that he's got a problem on defense, man. That knows that they probably didn't draft as much on defense, and knows the criticism that was out there of their draft, and it gets a little bristly. It's a little moody when he's asked about Kobe Bryant, because that's a big loss for him. This defense will be better. Show me why. They got the same defensive line. Look at the last. We can just look at recency. I know it's recency bias, but look at the last 2 teams that won the Super Bowl. You can look at the last 3 teams that won the Super Bowl. Chiefs had a really good defensive line when they won. Their offense has always kind of been the strength of their team, but their offense wasn't a juggernaut 3 years ago. Look at the Seahawks and the Eagles. I mean, it's really hard to have a team that cannot get to the quarterback and you win a Super Bowl. It's just really hard to do. I mean, not at all. I know you want to put a lot of money on offense, but you really need a team to get to the quarterback. This was the worst team getting to the quarterback last year, or one of them, and they were terrible at against the run. Sometimes you have a team that's bad against the pass, and then they got a lot of fat guys up there, and they're good against the run. They were terrible against the run, too. That's a bad combination. You tell me how they get better. How do they get better? And don't say Shamar Turner. Like, how did they get better? How are they getting better? Who did they pick up? What am I missing here?
Maybe a healthy Dio. I mean, I don't know. I really don't. Like, I do think that they got better. I think they got faster in the secondary. I don't think that they lost very much in the secondary because sure, you could talk about, losing Jaquan Brisker, but the guy could never stay on the field. So you didn't really lose much there. I just think that the offense is going to be that much better. And I agree with Doubting Thomas. They're going to score 50 points a game. I think that it's going to be a top 5 offense, if not better than that. I think that the Bears are going to be a team that when you look at this team, and I know Ben Johnson being excited about the 3 tight ends, being excited about Sam Roush, even the rookie tight end that they got. Caleb sounds excited about him as well. I think you're going to be able to see this team score in an abundance of ways, and I think it's always going to be next man up. I hope Rome Odunze can develop into the wide receiver that they thought that they were drafting. I don't know if he's ever going to be that. As far as a number 9 draft pick talent should be.
How does that win you a championship? This team was one dumb pass away from making the championship game. How does that win you a Super Bowl?
Well, you get a more comfortable quarterback, a quarterback that's better than what Caleb was last year. You get a quarterback.
Every time I ask about defense, you talk about the quarterback. We're probably gonna have a problem because you can have a middling defense and still win a Super Bowl. You cannot have a 30 ranked defense and win the Super Bowl. You cannot have.
I don't think they're going to be 30th ranked though. I think they're going to be. I think they're going to be mid. I think they're going to be 15th, 16th, 17th, somewhere in that ballpark.
Why?
I just trust Dennis Allen.
Dennis Allen, is he going to be rushing the quarterback? I mean,
that's the biggest question mark that I have too. I'm with you. I get all of that. That's my biggest concern too. You know how much I wanted them to draft a pass rusher in the draft. I wanted them to trade up
in this league other than a quarterback. Who makes the most money in this league other than
wide receivers? You see that damn deal Zay Flowers just got? Zay Flowers, who's not even top 10 at his position, maybe not even top 10.
Defensive ends don't make more.
I don't think so. I mean, Zay Flowers has got a 4-year, $140 million extension at wide receiver. And what is he, the 20th best wide receiver? Like, I don't even know if he's the best receiver on Baltimore. And he just got a 4-year, $140 million deal. So I look at the edge rushing position, and I look at some of these guys that were available, and the Bears not getting them. I'm with you. I'm concerned. I'm concerned about the ability to rush the passer. And you're not going to have the same amount of it's insane to try to, expect the same amount of takeaways that you had last year. And timely takeaways. And to win in the same fashion that you were winning last year, but I don't think they need to win that way. I think they're going to beat people down. I think they're going to have better first halves. That's how you have a better team than what you had last year. If you don't have to come back in the fourth quarter as much as you did last year because you're just tearing teams up in the first half, that's the key to that. You need Caleb to be able to hit the easy routes consistently and let his playmakers do the work. That's the key to this Bears team. And I understand I just think that the defense will be that much better when you force teams into positions to have to throw the ball, to become more predictable. I think that helps the defense. There are other ways to help a defense that, you're right, isn't going to be great, but I don't think they're going to be bottom 25, bottom 30 in the league either.
I think guaranteed money, the edge rusher has a slight edge over wide receiver.
Who makes more money? It's the NFL. It's not my money. I don't care how much money.
Well, when you have a salary cap, it does matter. It does matter when you have a salary cap. They're putting more money from a salary cap into defensive ends after quarterback.
The Bears are putting more money right now into the offense. They just gave an extension this week. They gave the extension to Darnell Wright. They're going to have to extend Caleb soon. The Bears are right now predicated on offense, which is something we've never seen in this organization.
True. And I guess I'll take it. I am the one that's been yelling about it for the past 3 years, and then it happens, and I'm worried about the defense. I
bitching about the other
guess
side.
this is my problem, but I just thought they'd do more at the edge or defensive tackle, and I know you thought that too.
I did. I
want you
but
to
here-
admit
here's
that
the
into
thing.
the camera.
A healthy Dio and a healthy Shamar Turner, we don't know whether or not that changes the defense yet. We're going to see it. We're going to get our answer here within the first 4 weeks of the season.
So you
But the
want me to wait 4 weeks into the season? We're not going to talk about Bears
because we don't know yet.
football until
Fitz.
4 weeks into the season again. All
Fitz,
right,
we don't
everybody
know
out
yet.
there.
We have to wait and see what this team's going to be, what this defense is going to be, and then you look at the front end of the schedule. The front end of the schedule is pretty nice for the Bears. We get Carolina and Minnesota and Philly and New York, the Jets. I mean, and Atlanta. And yes, you have Green Bay in there too. It's a nice first 5 games for the Bears to get lubed up for the season. And it's going to be a telling story. Can you attack Bryce Young in week 1? Can you get to the quarterback? Because if you can get to the quarterback in week 1 and you can get to Bryce Young, who's pretty fleet of foot, then when you go into week 2 against Minnesota, when it's about the same attack that you're going to have against Minnesota and their little Kyler Murray that they have at quarterback. And Jalen Hurts. I mean, you've got 3 really mobile quarterbacks in the first 3 weeks. That's going to tell the story for this Bears defense on how well they can contain the quarterbacks. So, yes, by week 4, you'll know. But we don't know. We just don't know yet because we haven't seen what a healthy Dio and what a healthy Shamar Turner brings to this defense yet. We don't know. We're going into the unknown. And yes, I know it's like, yes, I wish they would have went out and I wish they would have made the damn trade with Vegas and brought in a premier pass rusher. I wish that they would have went out in free agency or in trade and made the trade with Cincinnati to get a premier pass rusher. I am 100% with you. But they didn't.
I don't know. I think Trey Hendrickson got overpaid. To me.
I do too.
I do too. 31, 32-year-old edge rusher who had a bad injury.
And I would have loved Max Crosby. Max Crosby over Dio Adangbo every day of the week. I get it.
Oh, yeah.
But you don't have that. So now you have to see what
why you draft.
These guys bring.
Why
and now you've got Dio Adangbo who is listening to everybody and anybody telling you that he's not good enough to be a premier pass rusher. So now is motivated Dio a thing? Is that going to be enough to put you over the edge, to have you ball out and be that player that everybody thought that you were going to be, the player that the Bears traded to get? That's what is the unknown.
If he's healthy when the season starts.
If he's healthy, again, agreed. But I just don't know if that's what we have. We don't know yet. We have to see. But like I said, with the 3 quarterbacks you're going up against in the first 3 weeks, it's going to tell you the story.
And Ben Johnson, for me, has to run it back one more time for me to trust him. This trust in Ben Johnson crap. I'm sorry. I'll do that. Just run it back again. I need to see something sustainable as a Bears fan. I've seen this before. I've seen an offensive coordinator come in here and have a good year. Mark Trestman had a good first year. I'm not saying Ben Johnson is Mark Trestman. And I'm not saying he's Matt
have
Nagy.
a good first year. I can't.
Yeah, he did. Look at the offensive numbers. Yeah, he did.
I know Matt Nagy had a good first year.
Yeah. I don't know if it was particularly weighted on offense for Matt Nagy, but pretty good year. He had his quarterback did kind of go to the Pro Bowl. He was an alternate.
Yeah,
and
he went to the Pro Bowl because the starting quarterback in the Super Bowl didn't want to go to the Pro Bowl.
I'll slap that smile off the face. I knew I was going to get Doubting Thomas because he loves Ben Johnson. He's done this for multiple years in the NFL. Okay.
I trust Ben Johnson already, so I don't know what your problem is with Ben Johnson. But
he had one good year. He had 1 year good year as a head coach.
And he's had 5 good years as an offensive coordinator in the NFL.
Is his message gonna wear off? I don't know.
How good was Detroit's offense last year without Ben Johnson?
Good point. They were pretty good, but they weren't as good.
They were okay.
They were pretty good. I mean, I thought they did better than I would have thought they are. That team, that's going to be a hungry team, dude.
No. They have a
pass
the
rusher.
team that worries me in this division?
They have a pass rusher, and he has way more guaranteed money than any wide receiver.
I think this division's a 2-team race. And I think it's the Bears and Minnesota.
What?
I think Minnesota is the wild card in this division. I really do. They with Max Brosmer starting 2 games last year, with JJ McCarthy starting games last year, they won 9 games.
JJ McCarthy though has an alternative personality.
Kyler Murray, for as much grief as I give him, and I know he has trouble seeing over the line of scrimmage. I get all that. He's a better option than Max Brosmer and JJ McCarthy.
Yes,
and they won 9 games last year.
Yeah,
he's got a wide receiving core that is out of this world. That offensive line is pretty damn good, and their defense can get to the quarterback. So, yes, I think Minnesota is a real wild card in this division. I think that they could turn this division upside down. As a matter of fact, I might even pick them to win the division.
I think Kyler Murray gets hurt 3.5 games in.
Maybe. And maybe he's just not good. But Kevin O'Connell has made miracles with scraps. I mean, he completely turned around Sam Darnold.
Yeah,
who ended up
Sam
going
Darnold did do good on the Seahawks, though. It's not like Sam Darnold wasn't doing people.
But where did he come from?
The Jets.
Minnesota.
That's what happened to Sam Darnold. The Jets.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. So, yeah, and you're about to see by the way, you're about to see how dysfunctional the Jets are, because now you get their quarterback going back to New York, and he's been good for a couple of years now. Now he goes back to New York. If he's terrible again, tough. But no, I think that the Vikings and the Bears are the cream of the crop of this division. I don't think that the Packers are going to win more than 8 games this year. And you call me a hater if you want, call me a homer if you want. I just think that the Packers aren't that good. And I don't think that they trust their quarterback. I don't think Matt LaFleur trusts his quarterback enough to win more than that, especially with that schedule that they're playing. And I think that the Detroit Lions are going to be recovering from everything that they've gone through with missing their coordinators. You have Dan Campbell just taking on way too much. Dan Campbell, I'll give him all the credit in the world. Hell of a leader. Hell of a head ball coach. But he can't be the offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator. It's just too much. So I don't think Detroit and Green Bay don't worry me. It's Minnesota that worries me for the Bears in this division.
John Fitzgibbon says, just got off the shitter. What I miss. Okay. I thought you watched us.
12-18.
I thought he watched us on the shitter.
Yeah.
Anyway, Combs thinks that Jed Hoyer filled all the Cubs holes, that the Bears need 4 games to get lubed up, and he hates lesbians. So that's basically the entire show. There's the wrap up.
First of all,
clip that out. 12-18, clip it out, AI. Put it online.
That is not how that conversation went.
Ryan knows Ben Johnson is younger, better looking, more successful, and maybe a bit smarter. He's way smarter. He's all of those things. Yeah, he is. I call bullshit.
On which part?
Most of that happened. Almost all of that happened.
Yeah, except for one critical thing.
And
I still think that the Bears are.
Which is the critical thing? The Jed Hoyer filling.
I don't hate lesbians. That would be the critical thing.
That's hey, if you want to be a politician,
I do not hate lesbians. I watch their videos all the time.
You sound so convinced.
Just saying.
I learned long ago to ram it just right. You can ram it all day and ram it all night.
Visualizing you watching lesbians. Makes me do.
I just, look.
Rated TVMA.
Yeah, this is an NSFW podcast all the way. I just look. I look at the Bears, and I think your first 4 weeks is just going to be telling. That's all.
Are we just gonna say that every year?
You have to wait and see, right? Like you're saying you don't trust Ben Johnson. Like I think he showed enough last year that you could trust him. I think
In 1
Caleb
year.
showed enough last year that you could trust him.
This is what we're doing now. 1 year of head coaching. And we trust him for the rest of our lives.
I think you're out of your mind.
I don't trust the guy after 1 year. I'm not going to trust him yet. I'm not going to say in Ben Johnson we trust, and then they go 7-11, 7-10, 7-11.
Been doing
Give
a
it another
podcast
game.
with you for 4 years, and I don't trust you yet. So I get it. I get it.
There you go. Everyone knows there's the good kind of lesbians and the bad kind of lesbians.
Are we trying to get canceled today? Is that what's going on?
I'm not just taking the show where it goes. Sorry you let me steer it this way. You're the one talking about lubing up and filling holes, and you're getting me all lathered up and excited. We're both wearing black shirts today. I don't know what that has to do with anything.
So who do you think then, if it's not the Vikings, who do you think is the biggest?
I think Detroit.
Bears in this division.
I think Detroit. I think Detroit. I think that's the second best quarterback in Jared Goff is the second best quarterback in the division. I don't know who would say Jordan Love is. I mean, just watch that playoff game again.
Yeah.
When the chips are down, watch that playoff game again. I mean, really.
Carolina also has Detroit has a really nice start to their schedule. I mean, they get New Orleans, which New Orleans might be better. That's a lot of people's darling pick in the NFC South this year. But then they go to Buffalo. They're going to be Buffalo's first home game. And then in the new stadium, I should say. And then they get the Jets, Carolina, and Arizona 3 weeks in a row.
Ooh.
But then after that, you get Green Bay, Minnesota. Then you do get Miami. New England, Tampa Bay, Chicago. So a bit of a tougher schedule after that. But, I mean, having the Jets, the Panthers, Arizona, and Miami 4 games in a 6-week stretch is kind of a nice, juicy part of your schedule.
Yeah, I mean, Holmes also said a foot today.
I looked it up before the show.
Is that your word of the day? Yeah, I mean, I just think Detroit, I mean, am I wrong there in saying that Jared Goff is, he's still a great quarterback. I mean, I bet he's the second best quarterback in this division.
He still puts up the numbers.
How is that division not improved?
And then
how is that defense not improved with Detroit? How is that defense not improved? I mean, almost all of them were hurt last season. You'd think that wouldn't happen 2 seasons in a row, unless you're the White Sox
or the Niners.
Yeah.
I just look beyond Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jameson Williams, and Isaac Tesla are your 2 wide receivers.
That last guy's made up.
Jameson, a real guy. He's a real guy. He's the guy who made the
Jameson Williams. I wouldn't say that's a bad wide receiver core.
It's not great. It's not the best in the division. I think Minnesota has the best in the division.
Well, yeah.
And then I think it's the Bears.
Minnesota might have one of the best in the league. Yeah, and then I still think having a quarterback is more important. So, I mean, I that's why I have Jared Goff, and I think that defense is going to be improved.
Yeah, I mean, Jared Goff continued to put up the numbers last year. I mean, 34 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. Almost
all the best players are still there.
Passing. I get
it. Gibbs is still there. I mean,
yeah. No, I mean, he's been pretty good. 68% completion percentage last year. So they've done a good job with him. I'm not saying that. 105.5 passer rating for the season.
There's some good teams in this division. None of them have whiffed a Super Bowl.
Yeah. I think people are missing the boat on Green Bay. And that's just, even if I wasn't a Bears fan, I'd be saying this.
That Green Bay is...
They're not going to be as good as people think.
No, I don't think so either.
I think they draft a quarterback this offseason. This upcoming NFL quarterback class, I don't think Matt LaFleur loves Jordan Love. And I think that their schedule this year is conducive to them having a down year. I mean, yes, they start out with the Vikings, Jets, Falcons. The Vikings game week 1 is going to be a huge game for Green Bay. But then Jets, Falcons should be wins in both of those. But then Buccaneers, Bears, Cowboys, Lions, Panthers, Patriots, Vikings, Rams, Saints, Bills. Like, I could easily see them losing at least 4, if not 5 of those 7 games right there. That's a tough stretch. I don't think Green Bay is going to be that good this year. I think that this team is an 8-9, 9-8 type football team. And that doesn't win you this division, and I don't know that gets you the wild card in the NFC.
Yeah, and people keep acting like, oh yeah, Jordan Love, this will be the year. It's his 7th year. When do we say this is him?
Rye uses Goff's pictures in his dating apps.
Why can't I?
I don't think you look anything like Jared Goff.
It's not what you say, it's the way you say it that really hurts me.
I mean, do we have a photo of Jared Goff?
So you have Minnesota winning the division, is what you're saying?
I think Minnesota's the Bears. I think the Bears still win the division. But I think it's close with Minnesota. And Minnesota might win the division, yeah. Yeah.
I would think many people would have them at the bottom of this division.
Dude, and then, I mean, you look at the Vikings schedule, which we talked about. I mean, we talked about the Bears and we talked about the Packers. But if you look at the Minnesota Vikings schedule, Packers, Bears to start the season, Buccaneers. And then Dolphins, Saints, Colts. Lions, Bills, Packers, Niners, Falcons, Panthers, Patriots, Lions, Commanders, Jets to finish the season.
Jets to finish the season.
Well, Bears to finish the season, sorry. But yeah, I mean, look, I'm just telling you.
You got a
I'm
problem
a big
with the
believer in
Colts
Kevin
and
O'Connell.
Daniel Jones is going to be back with the Colts.
They're not good, man. They're not good. Neither is Daniel Jones. They were starting to show signs of that last year before he got hurt. And I'll die on that, though. They were not. They needed like insanely record-setting games from their running back to win those games they were winning. And that's what they were getting. They had a running back who was scoring 3 touchdowns a game.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just nonsense. But we're going to see. I mean, look, football season's fast approaching. We got a Bears game next Saturday on the 15th against the Cleveland Browns, I believe, is who they're playing on the 15th. So it'll be fun. It'll be fun to watch. It'll be fun to see. And we'll see how close we are or how far away we are from having a pass rusher. But we'll talk about that as it goes. You ready to get the hell out of here?
Yeah, I'm ready to get the hell out of here. We'll see. I mean, we'll see if we can trust Ben Johnson. Oh, I'm sorry.
We will see if we can touch Ben Johnson. I already believe we can. Fitzy, on the other hand, doesn't trust anybody. DTA.
1 year in. That's because you marry people 3 months in to meeting them. So
that's fair. That's fair.
Bears are going to win the fucking Super Bowl. John Fitzgibbons. We're ending the show. We have the out music on, and that's when he wants to put his 2 cents in.
You heard it here first. Bears are winning the Super Bowl.
Okay.
John Fitzgibbons.
You said it.
Yeah. He also said that the White Sox were going to win 75 games last year. All right.
They won 60.
Till next week. Tell your friends. Tell your neighbors. Tell your enemies. Talk to you later.